YouTube, welcome, thanks for joining. Let's do a little bit of movement and breath combined. We'll do some Qigong and we'll do a little bit of our strength training as well. So if you find your comfortable space, just going to swap cameras. And hopefully you can see me there. Yes, that's good. So let's start off with just standing tall and just taking a moment just to find your balance, lifting and lengthening through the spine, and just be aware of your feet as they connect to the ground. So particularly the point underneath the ball of the foot there in Qigong, that's called a bubbling spring. And just have an awareness of that point connected to the ground. Obviously you can feel the heels connected to the ground. We're not going up onto the ball of the feet, but we're just feeling that point connected to the ground. And if I just mirror you, if I just visualize that right bubbling spring, just connecting to the ground and bringing that right hip forward. So just bring that right hip forward a little bit, but feel as if you're connecting to the ground. So you're grounding and rooting through the bubbling spring. There's a little bit of bend in the knee. There's a softness in the knee. So if you have the knee locked, it doesn't rotate as well. So just connect to the ground, bringing that right hip forward. Just very small, subtle movements, not a big movement. So there's a connection between bubbling spring and that right hip just moving forwards. There's a little bit of drive through the ground, from the ground. And then just slow that down and come back to balance. And then same with the left side. So bubbling spring, connecting to the ground, and then just driving gently that left hip forward. Softness in the knee, relaxing the thighs so there's no tension or tightness in the thigh. So it's just connect to the ground, bring that hip forwards. Very subtle movement. At the same time, keeping tall through the spine. And then come to rest for a moment and just feel the weight evenly distributed through both sides of both legs, through both sides of the body. Now what I'd like you to do is just slightly hinge forwards. We're not taking the hips back and hinging forwards on this. I just want a very subtle hinge forwards. Notice how that then puts quite a bit more pressure on the quads, on the thighs, and a little bit more pressure on the knees. And then do the same thing. See what happens when you use that bubbling spring, bringing that hip forwards. Just doesn't quite work the same. So it's quite nice to check out different body positions, different structures of the body. And now have a little play around with that left side. All a bit sticky. It's a bit disconnected between upper and lower body. And then just come back up to standing nice and tall. And remembering the idea again from Qigong, connecting to the earth through the bubbling spring, connecting to the sky or the heavens through the crown of the head. So we get that nice structure, that tall structure. And then without hurting your back, slight lean backwards. So I'll just show you from the side. So I'm just exaggerating that lean backwards And notice where that loads the lower body a little bit more. Again, maybe feel a little bit more tightness in the quads. Go with that bubbling spring and see if you can do that little bit of a rotation hip. It feels really odd. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. Try both sides. It's like the Ministry of Funny Walks if you were moving forwards. And then just come back to balance. Nice and tall through the spine. And then go back to the idea of just keeping that upper body nice and long and tall. And again, moving, bubbling spring, hips. And then you can see straight away how easy it is to bring it into knocking on the door of life. So just get that idea of driving or using the energy from the ground, bubbling spring, which drives the hips, drives the center of the body. And then the upper body is just soft and relaxed and light and lengthened. Shoulders can relax. Upper back can relax. And you can just breathe easy. Keep lifting and lengthening through the neck as well, because again, if the head comes forwards, that puts a lot of pressure on the upper body. So keep lifting and lengthening through the crown so that the spine and that center line of the body becomes a strong, central, rotational axis. Just breathing easy in and out through the nose. Relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the upper back. And then gradually slowing it down into water waves. Still using the ground, still using the bubbling spring. Slowing it down. And then coming to a stop. And just bring your feet hip width. Again, just checking in with your balance. Nice and tall. And then step back out. So there we've worked on that spine rotation. And now we'll work on extension and rotation with that little bit of a bear walk. So you keep your fists just connected low down here, just below the belly button. And I'll mirror you. So we'll shift the weight to the right side. As you shift the weight to the right side, you're just going to step out to the left. So you're sort of like heading 45 degrees to the left. Then you transfer the weight onto that left leg. A little bit of bend in the knee. That right heel peels off the ground. And as you're doing that, you're extending the spine and then you're rotating the spine. And then you come back down, shift the weight back. Do it nice and slowly. You know what I'm going to say? There's no pushing, there's no forcing. Now shift the weight to the left, so you're nice and stable on the left, which helps you step forwards on the right. Bending the right knee, extending the spine first, and then rotating. And then back down. And just go at your own comfortable pace, side to side. Do it really slowly, really methodically, no rush. Just lengthening the spine, rotating the spine. You'll feel it also in the front of the body as well. So opening up the front of the body, that front line. Extending and rotating. Let's do one more on each side. Breathing easy, breathing calmly. And then take a rest. Go hip width again, just give yourself a moment just to balance. And then we'll do a little bit more balance, single leg balance. So step out slightly. Mirroring you, I'm going to stabilize first on my left leg. Now you can just peel the heel of the right leg. If that works for you, bringing up that right elbow, right arm facing forwards. And then shift the weight to the right side, peel the heel of the left. So just go side from side, peeling the heel, so you've got the majority of weight there through the left, the majority of weight there through the right. And if you're feeling stable and comfortable, just lifting now that right knee, stepping back down, lifting the left knee. Don't worry if there's a little bit of wobble, that's all good as long as you're safe, as long as you don't fall over. Balance, and connecting that elbow to knee. Elbow to knee. You can also use that opposite arm to almost like balance, to stabilize, like you're resting your hand on top of those tiger heads. And just breathing easy in and out through the nose. Standing tall. Do a couple more. And then take a rest. And let's have a little bit of a shake. So you can tap your heels into the ground if that feels good. That's a really nice way of getting that vibration, almost feeling the vibration through the bones. So you're using the legs as pumps. Let the spine go, the shoulders, maybe bringing the wrist. Maybe a nice couple of sighs, breath in. Let go, think of cleansing and clearing. Breath in. Let's do one more. Breath in. And then gradually slow it down. Slow it down. And come to standing. Just opening up the shoulders, palms facing forwards. And just enjoy that sense, that feeling of energy, of blood, of flowing through the body, the tingling sensations. Good. Let's do some of those split tigers or split squats. So again, just go at your own comfortable level. So it's not about forcing anything. If you have any knee issues or ankle issues or hip issues, just go to a really comfortable place where you feel safe. So I'll mirror you again. Let's step forwards. Sorry, we'll shift the weight first to the left. So it's a bit like that bear walk. We're shifting shifting the weight to the left, then stepping forwards with the right, shifting the weight to the right. So you've got the majority of weight on that right leg. Left heel peels off the ground. Now, rather than extending and rotating, we're going to bring that right hip back. We're going to bring that left arm forwards, and you're just going to go into almost like a single leg squat. So you're doing almost like a little bit of a tiger there. Just go to the depth that is comfortable for you. This leg is just supporting. So there's about 70% weight on that front leg, about 30% weight on that back leg. It's just supporting. Go down as comfortably as you can, and then shift your center of gravity forwards to step back up and step tall on that right leg. And then if you've got the space, we would do this as a walk forwards. But seeing as we don't have lots of space in front, we shift the weight back, step back, and then weight on the right leg, step forwards on the left leg, shift the weight onto that left leg, get comfortable on that left leg, and then hip back, still more weight on this front leg, supporting with this back leg. Come up, shift the weight forward, stand tall, straighten this leg, and then step back. And then just go side to side, nice and slow. And just go into a comfortable depth. Breathing easy, not holding the breath. And we're just doing opposite arms, so it's like a contralateral opposite arm, opposite leg. We're connecting the opposite elbow to the opposite knee, almost. Stand tall, step back. And you may find that one side feels a lot more stable than the other. Or you may find that they feel pretty equal. That's absolutely fine. But it's just good to bring awareness to what you're noticing. And the fact that you're doing it nice and slow and you're doing it controlled means you can really tune in to the body, to sensations. Do one more on each side. And then come up to standing. And give your legs a little bit of a shake out there. Take a moment. Let the breath settle. And then we'll do some tigers. So just feet about shoulder width apart. Hips glide back. Nice and strong through the arms. Again, just going to that comfortable place. You don't have to go too deep. And then using the ground shifting the weight slightly forwards, using that bubbling spring, and then we'll reach up. So we'll go pretty high up there with the arms, and then coming down, hips glide back, and then coming back up, standing tall, lengthening out the front of the body. It's quite nice to lengthen out the front of the body. Keep the shoulders down here. We're not hiking the shoulders up there. Breathing easy. Strong through the fingers there. If you keep those fingers strong as you are going down, it helps to keep the back strong as well. And then you can soften the fingers, use the lower body, use the ground. It's almost like pushing the ground away to come up to standing. Couple more. And then take a rest. Good. Shake out the legs. You might want to give the legs a little bit of a shake there. And then we'll put this into our little crawl forwards. So just go again at your really comfortable place with this. So if you can get, I'll just show you first, if you can get a little bit deeper in the hips where you can reach forwards, you can then rock forwards, and then shift back into that squat position and then come back up standing. If that's a bit of a challenge, if it's really too challenging to get that far down, just actually come down and just continue to do the tiger. Again, you want to be breathing out easily, you don't want to force anything. You could use something in front of you, obviously if it's safe to do so, that you could reach down onto. This isn't ideal, but it just gives you a little bit of a surface. Obviously you don't want stuff that slips forward, so you've got to really make sure you're safe if you do that. So you could do it on like a countertop, you could come down, you could do it onto a wall. But it's just nice to get that little bit of pressure, a little bit of resistance through the upper body. So let's go with that. Go with the tiger if that's comfortable, or if you want to go a little bit more challenging, we can rock forwards, step forwards with the opposite arm, push back, sitting that squat position, and then come back up to standing, and down, and then lead with the opposite hand, because if you put the right hand down there, take a step forwards with the left hand, rock forwards, rock back, heels, don't throw yourself up, just gradually, slowly come up to standing. And then now I'm leading, if I'm mirroring you, with a left hand. Rock forwards, a little bit of weight through the wrists, through the arms, through the upper body. Rock back, come up to standing. Soon get warm doing this one. Nice and slow. Rock back, come up to standing. Let's do one more each side if that feels good. If you're still breathing comfortably, it should be challenging maybe, but you should still be able to breathe comfortably. Keeping in control of the breath, keeping in control of the movement. One more. And then slowly back up. Good, brilliant work there. Give your legs a little bit of a shake out. And we'll just finish off with some pulling down the heavens. I'm just going to move forward so I don't take that plant out. You can see okay there. Pulling down, I'll move back actually, then you can see better. Pulling down the heavens, so palms up. And we'll do it in 6 directions. So now rotate. Overhead, pulling down the heavens, come back down the center. And then palms up. Rotate to the other side. Overhead, keeping the shoulders relaxed and soft. Down the center. Breath in. Breath out. Breath in, breath out, breath in, standing tall, breath out, breath in, breath out. And then bringing your hands, connecting the thumbs, interlocking the thumbs, bringing your hands just to rest over the lower dantian, bringing your feet together. Just letting the elbows relax into the side of the body and just closing your eyes for a moment. And just letting your body unwind. Be aware of that bubbling spring connecting to the ground, connecting to the earth. Be aware of the crown connecting to the sky. And be aware of the breath as it activates that lower dantian as you breathe deep into the body. And then when you're ready, taking a fuller breath in through the nose, and at the top of that breath, opening your eyes, stepping out, giving yourself a little bit of a gentle brush down. Lower back, down the legs, inside of the legs, belly. Brilliant, and we will finish there. So some basic stuff, but really good stuff, focusing on balance, strength of the lower body, that rotation, that energizing of the spine of the upper body. That's fantastic. Thank you for joining me. If you are free tomorrow lunchtime between 1 and 2, we've got a fantastic lunch and learn. Elaine Jackson's going to be chatting to Steve Hughes. So Elaine is going to be hosting the lunch and learn tomorrow. Steve is visually impaired runner, and I ran with them. We did the half marathon in Malden a few weeks back, and it was such a humbling experience to run with the two of them. It was a fantastic opportunity. So I just thought it'd be nice so you can chat to Steve and share, and he can give you his story. And it's a really inspirational story, and just makes you think when you're running, oh, my hip or something like that. It's like, those are the least of the worries when you watch someone running who is visually impaired, who's got this excellent running technique. So that's tomorrow at 1 o'clock. We're not recording that session, and it's on Teams as well. So you will, if you register for it, you'll get the link, but it's a Teams link. It's not a Zoom link, and it won't be recorded. So you'll only be able to watch it live on Zoom tomorrow. But do sign up for that if you want to join in with that. So hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. If not, I'll see you next Tuesday for a little bit more Qigong, a little bit more focus on the breath work. Have a fantastic weekend, and thanks for joining today. Take care. Bye. Bye, bye, bye.